Have you ever really thought about one of the most powerful forces that shaped, well, pretty much all of our economic history? It's not some fancy new technology or a political idea. It's just water. Yeah, specifically the incredible, almost unfair advantage of moving things on water instead of over land. It sounds so simple, right? But this one thing, this one simple advantage, totally rewired our world. So let's dive in.
To really get our heads around this, let's start with a little thought experiment. Imagine you've got a massive amount of stuff. We're talking 200 tons. How are you going to get it from point A to point B?
You know, the famous economist Adam Smith asked this exact same question way back in the 1700s, and his answer revealed a difference that is just staggering. To move those 200 tons over land, you'd need a small army, 50 carts, 400 horses, and 100 men. But by water, all you need is one ship and a tiny crew of just 8 sailors. The efficiency here isn't just a little better, it's on a completely different planet.
And look, this isn't just some quirky historical fact. It is a fundamental economic principle. It's one of the primary engines of growth for literally thousands of years.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with Adam Smith's big idea. Then we'll jump into some amazing real-world examples from England, the Middle East, and even Japan. Then we'll tie it all together to see why this one simple thing matters so much.
All right, first up, that foundational idea from Adam Smith. What he figured out was that the size of any market, and with it, all the potential for new ideas and growth, was basically capped by how cheaply you could move stuff around. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing, cheaper than water.
Okay, so let's see this idea in action. Fast forward to 18th century England. They didn't just stick with the rivers they had, they started engineering their own. And this one decision, it was an absolute game changer for their entire economy.
Take the Bridgewater Canal, for instance. It was built for a super simple reason, to get coal from the mines to the booming industrial city of Manchester. And the result? The price of coal in the city was cut in half, like almost overnight. This didn't just save factories a ton of money, it meant regular people could actually afford to heat their homes. It literally fueled the growth of the city.
And this wasn't just a one-off thing. All across England, this canal mania took hold, and on average, it slashed the cost of moving goods by a massive 70%. Just think about that for a second. Suddenly, everything became cheaper to make and everything became cheaper to buy.
This chart really paints a picture, doesn't it? If you think of land transport costs as a baseline of, say, $100, canal transport dropped that cost all the way down to $30. That's a huge amount of money and manpower just freed up to do other more productive things.
But this wasn't just a European thing, not by a long shot. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the trade routes of the Islamic world. The classic comparison there between the sailing dhow and the camel tells the exact same story.
I mean, the numbers here are just wild. A single merchant dhow could haul about 180 tons of cargo across the Indian Ocean. To move that same amount of weight across the desert, you would need a train of 600 camels. It's the same logic as the carts and horses, just a different continent, different animals. The principle is universal.
And the story stays the same even when we shift over to East Asia. During its Edo period, Japan's economy was absolutely booming, and it was built on this very same rule. We can see it crystal clear when we look at the data for their most important crop, rice. The difference in what one person could accomplish was just mind-blowing. On land, one person with a horse or a cart could handle maybe 2 or 3 sacks of rice. But if you put that same person on a riverboat, suddenly they could move up to 70 sacks. That's not just a small improvement, it's a revolution in productivity. Okay, so we've seen the proof from England, the Middle East, and Japan. The advantage is obvious, but now let's connect the dots. Why does this one simple advantage become such a powerful engine for growing an entire economy?
Well, it creates this incredible ripple effect. It all starts with lower transport costs. That means goods get cheaper. When goods are cheaper, more people can buy them, which makes the market for those goods explode. All of a sudden, a village potter isn't just selling to his neighbors anymore, he could be selling to the entire region. That is how you transform an economy from the ground up.
Really? You can think of it as a simple 4-step chain reaction. You start with better water transport. That leads to dramatically lower costs. Those lower costs make markets get way bigger, and when markets get bigger, whole economies prosper. It's a beautiful, powerful, and surprisingly simple formula. And once you grasp this, so much of world history just clicks into place. It's really no coincidence that the places blessed with tons of coastline and easy-to-navigate rivers, places like Western Europe and Japan, got a massive head start in their economic development. Their geography basically handed them an incredible, almost unfair advantage.
So the big takeaway here is pretty clear. For most of human history, your access to a river or a coastline was a huge factor in whether you'd be rich or poor. And that leaves us with one last really important question. If the geography of water was so powerful in shaping our past, how are the new geographies of today, things like access to fiber optic cables or fast internet, shaping our world right now, and what will they mean for our future?